MLK Day. This day means a lot to me because, honestly, it's the only day, like, as a black person, it's the closest thing I get to a black Christmas other than Kwanzaa. So I guess I get Kwanzaa and MLK. Thank you, United States government. I'm very grateful for Martin Luther King Jr. because of his direct efforts, for what he did for the civil rights movement. My parents wouldn't have come to this country if it wasn't for him. And that, I'm very grateful. It's funny, even before this video started, I was thinking, I have a dream, but the freedom of all black people must wait because I'm hungry and I want some KFC. I have a dream, my hunger will be quenched with some Kentucky fried chicken. I have a dream. Yeah, I was going to say that joke, like I had this whole elaborate thing of I was going to say this joke and I didn't open that way. I probably should have, but I didn't. Man, I'm very grateful because I had a dream, 13 score years ago, Martin Luther King, well, definitely not Martin Luther King. 13 score years ago, Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation of the Proclamation that freed African Americans. You see this? I'm using YouTube approach. Freed African Americans, black Americans from slavery. Now 13 score years later, I can't speak for all black people. I can't speak for others, but this African in America, this black American struggles to find employment, struggles to integrate into society, has an awkward social demeanor. But that doesn't mean that things are hopeless, Yes, I had a dream, I had a dream that after college, I had a dream after high school, I would find someone in college, get employment, and live the American dream. I had a dream that after getting a girlfriend that we would settle down and build our life together. I had a dream that I would feel so confident after getting a college degree. I thought that this is it. I've done it. I don't need any more. I've had dreams of success. I've had dreams of joy. I've had dreams of peace and happiness. But I woke up, Those dreams are in the past tense. Now I am a survivor. Now I trek on, not knowing what the next day will bring, not knowing what the end of this semester will bring, not knowing where my next job is. Very grateful I have a place to sleep and food in my belly, but not knowing what happens this summer. I have fear, I have excitement, but what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to give up, at least not yet. Martin Luther King, I'm so grateful for the sacrifices you made. You're not a perfect person. You made mistakes in your life, but, a wise man once said, well, it's contested, but apparently a wise man once said, he who is without sin cast the first stone. So I'm the last person to judge, I would have to remove the log out of my own eye before I remove the speck of dust out of yours. Dreams are great. Dreams are what inspire us to study longer, to learn about the YouTube algorithm, to test out different thumbnails, to apply for software engineering jobs, to go to Austin for 3 months and work at software development, to switch from accounting to computer science, to leave a relationship that's not serving you and not going the direction, to question your faith, and to let go of previously held beliefs. Dreams are important because they are what we want to be. They are what gets us and pushes us forward. And in the United States of America, it needs to be a place where dreams come true. Because if people stop believing that, I think this whole experiment falls apart. Is America perfect? No. It never has been and it never will be. It will always be this broken, flawed place in need of repair. But as long as there's people that buy long and sell short, that plant their corn crops because, we got to have high fructose corn syrup in our food, that plant the corn crops and the government subsidizes it. As long as there's people giving other people rights to work, paying for other people's education, making sure the person to the left of you and the person to the right of you is okay, putting on your own mask and then putting on the mask next to you. That's what America is to me. It's a place that gave my parents opportunities. It changed the course of their lives, and hopefully it'll change the course of mine. While I'm not where I want to be, I have dreams. I've had dreams in the past, I've woken up, but I still decided to keep dreaming. And I will still decide to keep dreaming. Now, where these dreams will take me and where I'm gonna go, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm very grateful for the people that watch. I'm extremely grateful for the people that comment. My life is so much better because of you. And I thank you. You know what? And I hope that your dreams get fulfilled too. I hope that you push towards your dreams. I don't know what they are. I can't read your mind. I can barely even spell my own name correctly without having to look at my own ID to get the name right. But I hope that you push yourself. Recently, I wasn't even going to tell you this, but recently I took on drawing. Oh my gosh, I don't think the camera's focusing, but I took on drawing. I didn't think I was qualified to draw, and I still don't think I'm qualified to draw. I'm not trying to become an artist. I'm not trying to, break into art. I ain't going to Pixar. I'm not starting my own animation studio. I'm not making my own magna. But I started to draw because a boy asked me to. Someone asked, "Hey, Caleb, I want to draw the Mandalorian. Can you help me?" And that's why I decided to do something I'm deeply unqualified for. I studied computer science and accounting. I don't know anything about drawing. But you know what? If a boy's dream is to draw the Mandalorian, I'm honored to be a part of that dream. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked, please like and subscribe. My socials will be linked down below and at the end of this video. And thank you, Martin Luther King Jr., for sacrificing your life, not just for the freedom of black people, but for the freedom of all Americans. Black, white, Asian, gay, straight, Protestant, Catholic, Jew, Gentile, and for humanity. Because that's something, if I could be 1% of the man who you are, I would be honored.